this is Irina Blount from Lala & Crafts. I'm excited to be back here with you for another presentation for Stamp and Scrapbook Expo at Home edition. Today we're going to explore some card making techniques that you'll be able to use for your not only card making but for your scrapbooking or journaling and other paper crafts projects. As always, we have show specials for you. Let me go through that first. The first show special is the 20% off. The coupon code is SHOP20 and it's valid today through September 18th. And you'll shop with us at lalalandcrafts.com. Our second show special is the product bundle. And this is something that we do every time we have a presentation. Today's bundle is the biggest value we've had so far. The value of the products included in this bundle is $86 and your cost is $55. So you're going to save over $30. 20% discount does not apply to the bundles because it's already discounted more than 20% off. So let me show you what's included in your bundle today. You're going to get 3 dies. We have die that says home. You can die cut it like this. You'll get this beautiful die with the key and the lock. And your third die in this bundle is this one that's called grass patches, and it has 3 patches of grass in 3 different sizes. You'll also get 2 clear stamp sets. And these stamp sets were designed to mix and match to work together. Of course, you can use them separate as well. The first one is called Hello There, and it has 3 images of little people, 2 girls or ladies and a boy. And it has a Frenchie, it has a dog here and a cat. And I love how this set comes with so many different sentiments for you mix and match and make cards and projects for so many different ideas. We have Welcome to the Neighborhood, Home Sweet Home, Congrats on your new home, Welcome Home, From Our Home to Yours, We've Moved, Thank You for Your Hospitality, Home is Where the Heart Is, Home is with You. I just love this one here. Safe at Home, very timely. I Miss Your Face, I love this one too. And You've Been on My Mind. And also there's also 2 smaller ones, Hello There and Hi Friend. And then this set here called Windows and Things has 2 different types of windows. It has 2, let me show you here better with the colored ones. So it has 2 different kind of windows. It has 2 curtains, so curtains can go on the sides. It has a radio and a pie. It has a little flower in a pot. And it has the bricks and the wood plank. Along with that, you're going to get masking vinyl. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but it's the shapes that are included in both of the sets, most of the shapes for masking like this. And these are removable masks, and you can reuse them time after time. I'll show you in our video how to use this. And it has the directions included. So you can, if you forget how to use it, you can always reference to this. And last but not least, in this set, in the bundle, we'll also include a reference guide for you, the layout ideas. So you'll see there are different ideas for you on how to use this 2 clear stamp sets to mix and match. All of these products are also available separate on our online store at lalalandcrafts.com. And of course, I want to show you how to use the products from your bundle. So we're going to make a few projects during this presentation. We're going to start with this simple card to show you, to give you an idea on how to use masking in your projects. I have card base cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 inches. I have 2 layers of craft cardstock 5 by 3 3/4 and 2 layers of ivory cardstock 4 3/4 by 3.5. I also die cut a circle using our stitched nested circles die, and I have the sentiment already stamped, and this shape is from the long flags die. These are the dies that are available on our online store. If you would like to purchase them, don't forget to use your coupon code. We're going to start stamping on the circle. The main thing you need to know about masking is that you always stamp the image that is in front first, and then you add other images behind it. If we look at this image here, our cat is in the front. So I'm going to grab my cat stamp, put it on my acrylic block, and I'm going to use Magenta ink in Tuxedo Black. I'm going to line it up and see where I want my cat to be and stamp him down. Perfect. Now I'm going to grab my masks and I'm going to find where my cat mask is and put it over, cover the cat right there. Then my next image is the fence, and the fence I created with the wood plank from the Windows and Things clear stamp set. I have it right here on my clear block, and I'm going to use Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. I would not recommend using distress inks on the clear stamps because they're not going to give you much coverage, but oxides work just well. I'm going to add scrap piece of paper under my workspace because I know I'm going to go outside of the circle. I'm going to position my cat straight, and I'm going to start adding the planks here. So I'm going to add it so the plank is a little bit higher than the cat, because that will give us an impression that he is sitting on the fence, or she. And then I'm going to keep on adding the ink and stamping the planks somewhat close to each other. And I'm going to stamp 4 of them in a row to give me room to add my little Frenchie there. Now we don't have masking shape for the plank here, so I'm just going to grab some Post-its and cover my fence. Now I'm going to get my little Frenchie and stamp him, and when I'm stamping him, I just want him to peek behind the fence. So I'm going to position him a little lower, like so. Now I also want to add a little bit of the sun kind of background in the back. So I'm going to cover my Frenchies. I'm going to grab my masking for this, cover my Frenchie, and then with oxide ink and fossilized umber, I'm going to just get a little bit of the yellow behind my images, like that. So now let's see what happens there. Let's see the magic. I'm going to take my mask and put it back on my masking sheet here, really carefully. And then I'm going to remove the cat mask, and sometimes I use paper piercer, something just kind of get it off the paper. Just don't rush through the steps. Then once I put them on back on here, I'm going to use the baby wipe and just carefully clean this off to remove the ink. And you can see as good as new. So as you can see, really cute. You can see now we have the Frenchie peeking out from the fence, the cat is sitting on the fence. So you can see really easy to do with the masking that is included. Very helpful. Now, other than that, this card goes by very quick. So for the inside, you can add 2 layers and put them inside. On the front, to dress up this simple layer a little bit more, I have my scoring board, and you might have seen me do it before. I like adding little embossed edge to my projects. So I'll use my scoreboard and 1/8 of an inch measurement and just go around like so. And that gives you really nice embossed edge. So then my layer goes on here. I have my circle I have my sentiments stamped already. You can line it up how you prefer. You can put some grass behind here. And this little heart that you see on here is actually from the home die. And card number 1 is complete. For card number 2, I wanted to show you a little bit more advanced stamping with masking. But basically, you just need to see what's first, what's in the foreground. So here we have radio first, then we have the boy here, then we have a window, and then curtain, and Frenchie, a little dog there. So let's see how we go here. So first I have my radio. I'm going to stamp it first. Going to grab mask for it. Really careful. Next I have the boy. So he is a little lower than the radio and his elbow is behind the radio. So stamp him up. Now grab the mask for the boy. Now I'm going to stamp the window. And I'm going to be very careful to line it up. I know that my radio is standing on the windowsill and it's behind this part of the window there. So I'm just going to line it up. Just take your time. But creating the scenes like this is so fun. Once you remove all of the masks, that's where the magic happens. Okay, that looks good. Now we don't have a mask for you for the window, but this is very simple. You can just use the post-it notes and line up to cover the whole area. You see, I already messed up with my hands there, so that's, be careful and remember to use your baby wipe to clean your fingers. But since I'm going to be cutting out this image, I'm not going to worry about it right now. Okay, so the next 2 things we have is the curtain, and this is this one right here. Bring this up like so. And I'm not going to put the mask there because there is nothing else I'm going to stamp, but there are masks for the curtains as well. And the last but not least, I have my little Frenchie to stamp. And he is peeking out behind the boy there. So now let's go ahead and see what we have created. I'm going to remove the post-it notes first. Now be careful when you're removing the mask because we have the ink on there. So try to grab it in the place where there is no ink and put it back. I'm going to remove the radio. And again, really careful because there's ink on top of it. How fun. So now once I have these shapes back, I can use my baby wipe and simply clean it off. For this card, I cut it, I fuzzy cut all the way around to use on my project, on my card. So these are straight lines there, it goes by pretty fast. How adorable is this? Just so cute. So now we're ready to move on to work on our card. For this card, I have card base 5.5 by 11, scored at 5.5. Then we have 2 layers of white cardstock 5.25 by 5.25, and 2 layers of white cardstock at 5 by 5. On one of these layers, the smaller one, the 5 by 5, I used one of our dies. This is called double stitched squares. You can see it has the cut line and then it has stitched line on both of the sides. I put it in the center of my layer and ran it through my die cutting machine. And what it gave me is these 2 shapes. So we have a frame and then we have a square with the stitching. I really love using this to make frames. You can make it for shakers. There's also smaller squares in this set. It comes a set of 4. You can use it as a frame for your photographs on your scrapbook pages, so many different uses. So for this card, we also have acetate, and this is cut at 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. First thing, I'm going to grab the bricks from my Windows and Things clear stamp set, and I'm going to stamp all around this frame. The way these bricks designed is that you can connect them together and make infinite lengths or infinite shapes. So here I'm just going to start with the corner and then finish the whole thing. I'm going to use Distress Oxide and Antique Linen. I'm going to stamp my first in the corner, and then I'm going to stagger following designs so you can see how they line up. Now with the magic of TV, we have this layer all finished. I'm going to add acetate behind it. Just adding the adhesive all the way around, and then I'm going to sit my acetate on top right here. Then the next thing, I have home die cut from chipboard and from white cardstock, and I really love layering my die cuts to give them more thickness, to make them more looking more like an embellishment. This chipboard we have in our online store. It's available. Just look for chipboard and you can get it at 20% off. Don't forget to use your shop 20 discount code. I'm using liquid adhesive to add to the back of the white die cut. Then I can add them all together and glue it on top of my acetate. I really love how it adds another dimension with the acetate there. So we have window and plus another window with the acetate. I didn't do mine as a shaker, but that is definitely an option since we have acetate. For the layer behind the window, this is our 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 layer of white cardstock. Like this, I have my image here that we created. Of course, on the card you can see it colored. You can color it very simple. It's small images. It doesn't take that long. Or you know what? You can even leave it uncolored. This looks really good too. So first, before I put this on, I'm going to use the bricks again, and I'm going to add a little bit behind the window. I'm going to add some of the post-it notes on the sides because I don't want it to go out on the white layer. So I'm just going to cover a little bit on the sides. Then I'm going to eyeball where my image is going to go. It's a good idea to use your frame as a reference, so about 1 inch from the top. And then I'm going to add bricks behind it will be behind the window towards the top right there, and then another one, again just using this as a reference, somewhere behind right here. Perfect, or imperfectly perfect. Bricks don't have to be fully filled there. It actually creates kind of an artistic look. So then you'll have your image on, centered about 1 inch from the top. Then we're going to add foam tape to the back of our frame that we created. This is 1/2 inch foam tape, so you can add straight lines all the way around. Like so. If you decide to make it into shaker, the one tip I can give you, instead of trying to put your fillings, your sequins and things like that into the shaker and then trying to cover it straight, the easiest way to do it is actually to pile it up on the top here and then simply cover it. Much easier to do. So I would put my layer, glue my layer first on here, on the card base, my other layers on the inside, and the little square that we have that came out of the frame, you can glue it in the center as well, like I have it here on my card. I also added the frame all the way around to embellish it even more. So then once you glue this on, you can put your frame on top, and you can add any of the sentiments that are included with your set. I have Safe at Home here. I stamped it on paper and just cut it out to make it small. And then you can put one of the grass patches there just to kind of dress it up. And then this card is finished. For our next card, we're not going to do masking. These are actually images that's stamped and cut out. So for this card, we have the card base 5.5 by 8 scored at 4 inches. We have 2 shapes die cut with the scalloped rectangles. Then we have 2 layers of craft cardstock 4 3/4 by 3 1/4 and 2 layers of ivory cardstock 4 5/8 by 3 1/8. And I stamped the sentiment already on one of the long flags die. This is really simple card. So the first, we have the card base, one of the scalloped rectangles, and we have our craft cardstock. Then on our ivory cardstock, I used one of our stencils, and this one is from Everything is Rosy. I'm going to use yellow fossilized amber oxide ink and start with the center and kind of fade it out. Once I do this, I lined it up again, and I learned it from one of our design team members, from Tamara, and I really like that look. So now I covered the squares that I just stenciled on, and I'm going to stencil it again, and that gave me this really cool. After that, I added the frame all the way around with the scoring board again, and I think it's really nicely just finishes the card, gives it more of the professional, if I can say, appearance. And it doesn't take long, just a quick second, but look what difference it makes. So that would go here. Then my sentiment. The little house is from the home die, so I simply cut off the letters, and we're going to put it on our sentiment. I have my images colored, and you can tag them under, and you can use 2 girls if you prefer. You can use different girl and different boy. You can use just one image if you prefer. That looks really cute too. So really simple card, really fast to make. And then on the inside, I would just use the same layers and do the little frame and put this on the inside. Okay, so let's move on our last card. And I really love this card. I really love how you can do it elegant, but then I'll show you how to make it cute as well. So for this card, we have card base 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2, 2 layers of craft cardstock 5 by 3 3/4, and 2 layers of ivory cardstock 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. I also die cut 2 circles, one from craft, one from ivory cardstock, and these are cut with our nested circles die. You can get a 20% off. And I die cut 2 of each of the shapes from the heart, key, and lock set. And I also have home die cut from chipboard and from white cardstock, and I actually have it glued already just so it goes by faster. So on this card, before we start assembling, first we're going to create the brick wall right there. So I'm going to start on each side about 1/2 inch from the top. Just see that they kind of line up, and then add one more under. Perfect, that's all we need here. Then you can stamp the sentiment of your choice, and you have so many different sentiments that would go with this design. You can do any of this, actually, any of the sentiments. Welcome to the neighborhood, home is where the heart is, we've moved, home sweet home. You can use any of the sentiments with this design. And then I did the frame again all the way around. I'm not gonna do it on the sample just for the sake of the demonstration. I have my layer on the foam, or you can glue it together just like so. Then I have home already glued together. So this will go above the sentiment, so stamp your sentiment first. Then my 2 circles right here. Then I got all of these extra pieces that are still staying in the chipboard. You can see they're die cut, they're just because of the thickness of the chipboard, they are staying in, so you can just push them out. Speaking of this all these little hearts that came out there, this is the other thing I did on this card to further embellish it. I die cut the key in white cardstock, or the ivory in this case, and added them around the image, so that kind of embellished it even further. But these chipboard ones, I can go ahead and just swipe to the side right now. Then I'm going to adhere these 2 layers together to make it nice and thick as we have here on our sample. Really cool embellishments. And then the other thing I wanted to show you, how to make them look metallic. So I use acrylic paint, and this is, you can use any acrylic paint in gold, in metallic gold. And I just grab a tiny bit of it, and I use my finger. I don't even use brush because I don't want to overdo it. If you grab a little bit with your finger and just lightly brush it on your shape, I really love how our chipboard absorbs the paint to create this amazing metallic look. And of course you can do silver if you prefer. Just find the paint that looks good to you, the color wise. Adorable. And then I used a little bit of the twine to tie the ball on the lock, and arranged my shapes on my card. Then don't forget to add a little bit of grass, because that kind of just brightens up the whole image here. And on the inside, I stamped brick wall again and added other 2 pieces of grass right there. Now I want to show you how you can make this. You can embellish it even further. You can add some images to it. So you can put little cat there. Isn't it adorable? Just so cute. You can add some images as well instead, or with it. You can add a little girl there, or you can, instead of cat, you can just add 2 images. Let me do it this way. Isn't this adorable? So you can, with this design, you can mix and match. Adorable. You can also make a long card with this design. You can put 3 of the of the windows on the whole card. The slimline cards are so popular right now. The card base is 10.5 by 8, gray cardstock 10 1/8 by 3 7/8, and ivory 10 by 3 1/4. As you can see, I don't have it finished, but just wanted to give you an idea. I hope you liked my tutorial. I hope you learned a few things here today and you will give it a go. Have a great weekend. Be safe, stay healthy. Bye for now.